from my very windy, wonderful patio. It's Queen Mabsy, also known as Michelle Jericho Poplar. Let that airplane take all of the nonsense away and be present. So, today it's MoonDaze, Mondays with Queen Mabsy here on New Paradigm Healing Academy. It's blustery and beautifully chilly here in Hawaii, and I am enjoying the sweater weather. And fortunately for me here in Ava Beach, it's presently just overcasted, windy and fun, and my wind chimes might be a little intense, but I am enjoying the harmonic resonance. So we are here today on Moon Day, February 19th, 2026. And I'm here to tell you what's going on this week with the astrological happenings. Now, I used to actually write a script and prepare for these when I first started. And I have since decided to just be on the fly and pull up my charts and tell you what uploads and downloads and side loads and cross loads happen to come as I look at what's going on. So, because it seems to be more in alignment that way than it is the other ways, because spontaneity and presence now is kind of what New Paradigm is all about. Hello Mom, hello and aloha, welcome. So, and if you have any questions as far as the energies, how they've been affecting you directly, anyone who's here live, please feel free to mention those in the chat as I can see you there. Now, as we know, that we are approaching eclipse season very soon. Also, the Lunar New Year, the proper New Year of the Moon. So when the lunar cycle resets itself, and in Chinese astrology, we are moving from the year of the snake, in the wood snake, I believe, and into the year of the fire horse. Now, these elements that we're talking about, we are talking about a snake. A snake sheds its skin. So we'll let that airplane take away all of the old paradigm skins and belief systems that we shedded and are shedding actively as we wrap up the year of the snake. Now, snakes live in the earth and they are very grounded. They're also a predator. Very sneaky. So, it is no surprise that the news and the external realities are talking about all the stuff that it's talking about. And I'm not going to go into that because we all know what's happening. But what is definitely happening as we move into the year of the fire horse on February 17th with the lunar eclipse at the high degrees, 28 degrees of Aquarius. Ooh, giddy up! Because what's happening for us, these outer planets, also shifting from, as we have that Saturn and Neptune conjunction on the either side of the portal, Aries, with Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, and Saturn now at 29 degrees Pisces. Now this is the gates between the old paradigm and the new paradigm, as far as embodying Divinity Informed. Saturn represents time, reality, structures, building, teaching. Neptune represents source, God, universe, the infinite. And that's at 0 degrees Aries. It's like Aries is the body, and 0 is like full potential. 29 degrees Pisces is the end. And a choice point. Opportunity to reflect on all that has traversed over the last 14 years and 165 years. Because the Neptune cycle was 165 years, and for Saturn it's 30 years. So 30 years all the way around all the way around the solar system is one Saturn year, or 30 Earth years. One Neptune year is 165 Earth years. So if we imagine ourselves 165 years ago, and then comparing it to where we are today with the visuals and the technology and the social, political stuff that we're seeing, you might see a few little parallels, and we're also up leveling. And then next, with more intensity and more lessons. And that's all happening for us because humanity is ready to level up. We can see it in our children as we have more of those who are of the neurodivergent idea, like more kids are testing with these various different learning styles. Wow. And then there is the gender fluidity, as far as the disidentification with the polarity. Why do kids want to suddenly be a they them instead of a he she? Well, maybe, just maybe, my hypothesis is that maybe these souls, these beings, identify more with source, with the infinite, and with being connected to all, rather than being too much in their ego identity, as in a he or a she. I'm a they. I'm a part of the whole. So when I encounter a young person, or even a person who uses that identification, that's when we had that alignment of Venus and Mars with the Capricorn action during this Capricorn season. That was relooking at our structures around what does humanity identify with. Maybe we just identify as human. A human being, divinity informed, Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. Now, a lot of resistance comes into society when there is change, and that was probably the Uranus in Taurus retrograde still happening for us. It has gone direct though. Uranus, hallelujah, has gone direct, and it is now moving forward away from the fixed star Agol, which rules a lot of things that have to do with anger programs coming up. That was in a minor grand trine, still active, to Pluto in Aquarius. And we had all those planets, personal planets, Venus, Mars, Mercury, and the Sun cross over the planet Pluto, which rules transformation. Pluto in Aquarius historically is when new shifts in the collective and consciousness, new governments, new structures is created. The old is bulldozed and the new arises. So we're in very interesting, exciting, beautiful times, and what this minor grand trine is challenging us to do is, how do we choose love over fear regardless of what the external reality shows for us. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate the exact times for Hawaii Standard Time when the February 17th lunar eclipse happens. Now, it starts here in Hawaii, and now it's in Antarctica. So we won't be seeing it here, but you will be feeling the effects. Eclipses will affect you wherever it occurs in your birth chart, and it's happening in Aquarius. So wherever in your birth chart you have Aquarius, don't worry about it affecting you in a life-negating way. Because if challenges show up for us, everything is for us. And then you can just get curious. Oh, I was wondering how this eclipse was going to show up for me. Great. Like, that's how it's showing up for me. Faboo. So now you can be empowered with the knowledge that some sort of lesson regarding, for me, like I have Aquarius in the 4th and 5th house, is going to happen around my home and my joy. So what kind of transformation or eclipse, what feeling the moon, when the moon crosses over the sun, because the sun is shining, blah, and then the moon crosses over it, and then we have to look, oh, that's that feeling that I have been suppressing, repressing, and denying around that sector of my life. And Aquarius means that it is eclipsing a feeling that we have in our community. Aquarius rules community. So that's how you can have awareness and be empowered when these energies click and shift. So February 17th, it starts in Honolulu at 11:56 p.m. Then February 17th at 2:12 a.m. is the apex here in Hawaii Standard Time. And the partial eclipse will end around the full eclipse will end around 2:41 a.m. February 17th, and the partial eclipse will end 4:27 a.m. February 27th. So this will be an overnight thing. Most of us will probably sleep through it. If you happen to wake up in the wee hours of the morning, like, be curious if you happen to wake up at 2:12 a.m. It's probably because you might be feeling that full eclipse occurring for you. So keep a notebook by your bedside, or wherever you be in the world, and maybe just note what feelings come up. Might be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, as of the actual day-to-day, from as of today, February 9th, where be the moon? The moon is in Scorpio today. Scorpio. It is in a trine, a harmonic aspect to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces and Aries. So we're really feeling this shift. What is this timing that is occurring for us? And we're also feeling that pull of Uranus direct, like calling us to innovate our manifestations and moving them forward. Moving on, so this today, MoonDaze, and moving on to tomorrow. Now tomorrow, February 10th, the moon will move into Sagittarius. So yay! Anne's a Sagittarius. I have a Sag moon. Now, the Sag moons, we're pretty funny. But one thing I will note, if you do have unconscious feeling programs or fear, false evidence appearing real, showing up for you around your thought programs, opening up to your thoughts, and fears around what you're manifesting forward when it comes to your spiritual practices, that would be because the moon is crossing over Lilith, which represents fear. So just have awareness that that's going to show up for us. And then there's a square aspect to the North Node in Pisces and Mercury in Pisces. So Mercury is our mind. The North Node is the collective purpose. And the North Node in Pisces is calling us to be spiritually minded when it comes to what we manifest. Mercury is currently at 6 degrees Pisces, and it is like, hey, open up to new thoughts around your values with Venus at 0 degrees Pisces. New thoughts and values when it comes to what we're manifesting in spirit. More calling to less stuff and more spirit, as in more presence and more divinity informed Saturn and Neptune at the cusp of Pisces and Aries. Because embodying that divinity is what the new paradigm is calling for us. We are collectively calling that in, which looks like us moving or having awareness of the third density, which we exist in, which is our third chakra, solar plexus, through the heart chakra, fourth dimension, into the fifth and beyond, belief systems. So, moving on from Tuesday into the 11th, the moon will move off of Lilith. We'll have some ease up. We'll have a healing when it comes to that feeling. So remember, we feel it to heal it. So when that feeling comes up, don't run away from it. Go, yikes, I don't want to feel that. Go, allow yourself some time to feel that feeling and process it. Oh yeah, I remember that was going to come up. You feel it, and then the next day, Wednesday, you will have a healing and clearing, because there will be a trine to Chiron, which is the healer in Aries, and you'll feel it somatically in your body. Doing wellness practices when it comes to moving your body is the best way to move the feelings. So if you don't have to think about it, journal it, just go move your form, and it will all be divinity informed that way. When the moon moves into Capricorn Thursday, you will feel a square aspect to that divine timing. Like, oh, well, how is this going to work in my life structures, Capricorn? There might be some reevaluating how it appears in the tangible, in the bank, Capricorn, or in the job, Capricorn. So if you have some thing come up that causes some issues, that will on Thursday, that will be why. The moon continues on through Capricorn Friday the 13th, and it opposes, as in a polarity, will pull on Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. Now that'll be a stretch. We're feeling a stretch of that, what we had hoped, how we hoped things are going to turn out. We might be tested on how we believe things are going to turn out. But again, with Jupiter retrograde, we have to maintain and keep the faith and plan plan, but always plan to change our plans. Be flexible, because with Jupiter retrograde, the answer always comes within, not without. Moving on to Saturday. Saturday. The moon will move from Capricorn into Aquarius, activating and pulling an activation to that minor grand trine from Pluto, crossing over Pluto, and activating that Uranus trine to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So again, another note of how in our communities and our immediate realm, how that our feelings about those communities is going to be transformed. How we show up in our embodied form in our community. That is Saturday. So, that was also Valentine's Day, right? So let's take a look at, the Libra energies is relationships. We ain't got no big old planets happening in Libra, which is good for you Libras, because we had a lot of activity in Libra last year and the year before that. So you get a little break. Now, this is more about being in right relationship with ourselves first, in order to be in right relationship with others, because everything is a reflection, and if we prefer to see more alignment in the outer, Jupiter retrograde says, well, first get aligned in the inner, in Cancer, and with our feelings. Cancer. The moon crosses over Pluto and says, hey, transform these the belonging with the feelings. So like maybe these new thoughts, Mercury at 5 degrees Pisces, and then we're going to have a Mercury retrograde through the end of February 26th on to March 20th. Preparing for that, which a Mercury retrograde in Pisces is going to look like, well, we're going to have a little bit of more miscommunications and misunderstandings, because it's going to be pretty dreamy, weird, wonky energy, because that's Pisces. But that's fun. You can have fun with it too. It's a good time to like declutter, clear out your closets, spring cleaning a little bit early. So on Valentine's Day, we're less focused on what the other is going to do for us, but rather when we look at, and we had a great talk in our Soul Connections today about how Isaac was pointing out how we care for others can be how we wish others would care for us. So if you are caring for another and extending yourself and doing all these things, maybe take a look at what those things that you are doing, and maybe do those things for yourself, so that way that Valentine's Day be your Valentine. So treat yourself like your own Valentine this Saturday. Sunday the 15th. Ooh, this is an interesting pattern I'm seeing. So there is a square aspect from the sun at 27 degrees Aquarius to Uranus and Taurus, and then there's also a crissy-cross square between our mind, Mercury, to Lilith, so the fear, in Sagittarius. So what that means is there might be some crosshairs happening when it comes to the community energy and your divinity energy. Your thoughts around your divinity are going to have, like, am I having the right ideas? Am I getting the right ideas around my Divinity Informed? You might be questioning your consciousness and your heart. The answer to that is, well, what about where my heart is when it comes to how I feel, what I love and value in the community, and what am I innovating forward. So there might be a little bit more awareness of where things are overlapping, so to speak, and the remedy for that overlap is to remember to choose love, again, very simply, over fear, and that we are divinity informed. Multidimensional beings having a human experience, and regardless of how complex that show and human dramas and traumas that happen to show up for us to test us, we will have the opportunity to experience, starting on Sunday, when Saturn goes from Pisces to Aries. And that shift, it's pencils down, he's checked our work, he's passing out the results of our tests and the choices that we made. And we're going to get more informed on how those choices have played out. Hey there, bird. Hi. Yeah, this has been a very intriguing journey. Hi. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna go and hang out with my kiddo, and I love you all. Let's talk next moon day. I love you. See you later. Bye.